Okay, this is the Gita class, chapter 5, Karma Sannyasa Yoga, and the 7th sloka. Okay, we'll first offer the Mangalachana prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjalasala Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Krishna Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Tapistapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Tatati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Yushri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Argunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savabhutam Parichana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakambhitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarabhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Gita Shastramidam Punyam Yav Patet Prayatav Puman Vishnu Padamavapnoti Bhayashoka Divarjitah Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Gitam Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva Eko Mantrastasya Namani Yani Karmapyekam Tasya Devasya Seva Om Krishnaya Paramatmane Namaha Krishna Bhagavan ki Jai Prabhupada ki Jai 7th sloka goes like this. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriya sarva bhutatma kurvannapi lipyate. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriya sarva bhutatma kurvannapi lipyate. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriya sarva bhutatma kurvannapi lipyate. Synonyms: Yoga Yuktaha, engaged in devotional service. Vishuddha Atma, a purified soul. Vijita Atma, self-controlled. Jita Indriyaha, having conquered the senses. Sarva Bhuta, to all living entities. Atma Bhuta, Bhutatma, compassionate. Kurvannapi, although engaged in work. Na, never. Lipyate is entangled. Translation by the Prabhupada. One who works in the devotion, who is a pure soul, and who controls his mind and senses, is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled. I repeat, one who works in the devotion, Bhakti Yoga, who is a pure soul, after working in the devotional service, after cleaning up the things, then who is a pure soul, he becomes a pure, and who controls his mind and senses. Because of the Bhakti Yoga, the main thing is to remove the dirt in the heart, which is nothing but controlling the mind and the senses. Instead of mind and senses and everything working towards the material desire, selfish desires, you just work for Krishna or work for the entire humanity. Sarva Bhuta Ite Rataha. Then senses is dear to everyone and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled. So he is dear to everyone and everyone is dear to him. So in this sloka, Krishna explains the qualities of the yogic person who achieved the results or who is going to achieve the results, who is in the path. So we see that 1 to 6 slokas, Arjuna asks like which one to adopt, either Bhakti Yoga or Jnana Yoga. The Krishna says like Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga is all same. And then Sannyasa or Jnana Yoga or Sankhya Yoga is same. He says like both, whatever the path you follow, the result is going to be same. The goal is going to be the same. So that's why in this shloka, Krishna explains that how that person is going to be. First of all, here the things are, first of all, he is a pure soul. He doesn't have the kama, krodha, kama, vancha at all. So that is the first thing. Once he doesn't have the selfish desire, that means the soul is pure. And who controls his mind and senses. So controlling the mind and senses is, Krishna talks about so many times. Even in the second chapter also, Sthita Prajna Lakshanas, he says like he will control the mind and senses. Those are the very important stuff. Then, so once that pure soul who already controlled the mind and senses and who knows it, who knows the goal is almost kind of like a liberated person or going to be in the path, he is dear. The formula is, the measurement here is, he is dear to everyone and everyone is dear to him. So how a person is dear to everyone and everyone is dear to him? So that we need to analyze a little bit. Though always working, so that person, do you think that he won't work at all or he will sit in the corner? No, though always working, such a man is never entangled. He never entangled into the Maya. So that is the discussion topic in this sloka. So in the note, so one who is in the path of the Krishna consciousness is very dear to every living being and every living being is dear to him. This is due to his Krishna consciousness. Such a person cannot think of any living being as separate from Krishna. This is very important. As separate from Krishna, just as the leaves and branches of a tree are not separate from a tree. If you really see the analogy, the tree is Krishna, the branches, leaves, and everything, every Srishti, everything in every living entity is a part and parcel of Krishna, related to the Krishna. That is how this world is. Because Krishna is the one who created it, the Bhagavan. Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Shabdaye. Whether you call it Krishna or God or anything, Nirguna or Saguna, whatever may be, everything is created by the one God and every living entity is part and parcel of that God. And then just as like, so then in that case, how can a person thinks as separate from Krishna? When we relate to the Krishna, if someone scolds us, then if you realize, okay, it's Krishna's energy is passing through us to maybe rectify something or to improve or to give my karma results, then I should be simply accepting it without even hesitating. So, the Krishna conscious person, he knows very well that by pouring water on the root of the tree, the water will be distributed to all the leaves and branches, or by supplying his food to the stomach, energy is automatically distributed through the body. That's why he is totally confident and determined to serve only Krishna, the root of the tree, or the food to the stomach. So what do you mean by that? Serving the Krishna means what? So if you really say Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Swaranam, those are the paths in the Bhakti Yoga, Navavidha Bhakti. Shravanam, Kirtanam, so all you think about Krishna, you talk about Krishna, and you do pujanam, you do this, you do that, everything. And also after that, all that thing is there, then Atmanivedanam. So and in this life, whatever the things, the necessary things, the duties you want to do it, you will do it with utmost interest and everything. At the same time, you dedicate the results to the Krishna. And also Sarva Bhuta, you work for the society, and then whatever you can give, you give it, and then whatever is in your capacity, you try to serve the Lord. So those are the things. Those who are in the path of this Bhakti Yoga, he will never be depressed state, or he will never be in a lazy state. He will always be working and then serving the Lord. So he's not inert or anything like that. He will be very active. At the same time, he won't be expecting his results, the materialistic desires. So that's why he is away from all these materialistic people or anything. At the same time, he will be working towards that. So because the one who works in the Krishna consciousness is servant to all, because he thinks that everything, if you really see the Vishwarupa, everything, entire universe is Bhagavan pervaded. So then you kind of serving the Krishna means serving the society, serving the Krishna's energies. And then basically that is what it is. Even envious of Krishna is nothing but if you are envious of any particular person or anything, that means you are envious of Krishna. So in that way, You need to convince the mind, buddhi, so that you always work for the welfare of the society. Then when you are working for all, then they are very dear to everyone. Only thing is, like, if you want to be lazy and you don't want to work, and then at the same time you want to get the result and you keep on blaming, then no one likes you. But if you are always willing to work for everyone's help welfare, and um, then everyone will like it. And because everyone is satisfied by his work, he is pure in Krishna, in consciousness. Because he works for all, he doesn't have any selfish goals, so that's why he is pure in consciousness. He doesn't want to enjoy himself, like Vidya Prakasananda Swami explains. A great saint called Renade in Calcutta. I think he's a very great saint. He always helps the surrounding people. And one of his devotees sent a big box of mangoes from the village, far village, and so tasty. And then he opens up and then he eats one piece and then he just puts everything in the box. Then wife asks him, "Yeah, what is this? Is it not good or what?" He says, "Like in my life, I did not eat this kind of fruit at all, because it is so good. I want to distribute it to all." So he asked his wife to distribute it to everyone. So that kind of person is the yogi behaves. And then because he is pure conscious, because for that you need a knowledge. You need a knowledge that you are Atman, which is Satchitananda, always blissful, and then you are entangled because of the ajnana, and you are entangled in the body, and then because of that, and then you are attached to the karma. First of all, you are avidya. Because of avidya, kama, the desire came, and to fulfill the desires, you need to do the karma. So that's why Bhagavan given you all the upadhis, like the bodies, subtle body and the gross body, because some of the things you enjoy through the subtle body, some of the things you enjoy through the gross body. In order to fulfill all those karmas, you need to have these upadhis. So that's why he gives all these things, and then he completely knows that until he doesn't have a tinge of material desire, until that time he is not going to be a liberated person. So that then he tries to control his senses and the mind very willingly, not hesitatingly, not forcibly. That's why this Brahmanic person is an example given. He is distributing everything to every human society. That is one thing. That is why in the Gita also Krishna says, Yajna dana tapa karma natyajyamiti chapare. Yajna dana tapa, even pavanani manishinam, even the people who are already attained moksha, they don't stop this yajna dana tapa karma. Like Shuka Brahma, he's already elevated. Then he doesn't need to tell anything, but he sat with Parikshit 1 week and then he explained the entire Bhagavata. That karma, he did it. If you are a self-realized soul, you don't need to explain, but he explained that for the welfare of the everything society, and also he enjoyed it by thinking about Bhagavan Krishna Leelas and everything. So because that person is a pure in consciousness, I mean the sadhaka is also trying hard. Here we are talking about the pure bhakti yogi, already achieved it. The one who is achieving also, you should keep in mind these kind of things. So because he is in pure consciousness, his mind is completely controlled. Because the purity of the consciousness means nothing but in the mind there is no material desire. So you think, but you think for the welfare of the people. You think about all the time about Krishna, and you don't have the selfish desire like I want to enjoy this, I want to enjoy that, I want to be tomorrow I will do this, tomorrow I will do this, and then I will do this to enjoy this. I'll do whatever this much costs to enjoy this particular bhoga. So all that one won't be there. That's why his mind is completely controlled. The only thing is like depending on your desire, the mental agitations will work. The mind will fluctuate depending on the desire. For example, if you want to build a particular custom home, and then your mind is so agitated and you think about everything like the land and then the permissions and then the design and keep on checking again. After that, so much karma is there in the mind, and then to satisfy that, the mind will fluctuate. But if you don't have the desire, your personal interest, but still you might work for the similar kind of work for the entire society, then the mind won't be agitated. But if you want to on the selfish desire, like a bhoge, roga, bhayam and all those things, then to control the mind, that is how you should be. And because the mind is controlled, his senses also controlled. Because the senses, mind is the one controls the senses. And senses are like kind of servants to the mind. All the karmendriyas and jnanendriyas, everything controlled by the man, and mind is controlled by the buddhi, and buddhi is the one, you are the ones who controls the buddhi. That's why they will say Gayatri Mantra Buddhi Prachodayat. You need to keep your buddhi in the sattvic buddhi, and you have to be very intelligent in order to lead the life. So, and then because his mind is always fixed in Krishna, that is one technique. And there is no chance of his being deviated from Krishna, nor is there a chance that he will engage his senses and matters other than the service of the Lord. So that is how the second point is. So in that sense, so he is dear to everyone and everyone is dear to him. And he controls the mind and senses, he is pure. Those are all the results of the Bhakti Yoga or Jnana Yoga or the yoga. The person who achieved all these yogas, he will behave like this. His mind is not agitated, he is pure in the heart, mind and senses are always controlled, and then dear to everyone and everyone dear to him. He always works for the Loka Kalyanartham. Now, the next point is he doesn't like to hear anything except topics related to Krishna. He doesn't want to eat anything which is not offered to Krishna, and he doesn't wish to go anywhere if Krishna is not involved. Therefore, his senses are controlled. A man of controlled senses cannot be offensive to anyone. Like here in the Bhagavatam, Ambarish Maharaj, he followed, he's an example, he followed all the Navavida Bhaktis. Shravana Kirtana, Smarana Vandana, Pada Sevana Dasere, Pujana, Sakhijana, Atma Nivedana. All these nine Navavidas, now 9 ways or nine things for the bhakti. You can follow either one or entire 9 depending on this. And Ambarish Maharaj is the king of the entire world and he followed all these ones. So that is how Savai Krishna Padara Vindayo, that's how Vaikuntha Vachamsi, like that how the sloka goes. Next time we can think about that sloka. So then that's a very nice sloka, the Ambarish Maharaj. But the gist of that sloka is he morning to the night, evening times, he will just work, he will think, he will listen, he will think, he will do the Pada Sevanam, he will do Arjam, and then he will treat the devotees, and then all these things. That is how the Durvasa Muni, when he came with all these Sishyas, he wanted to test it, and then he became angry, and then after that he waited for 1 year, Ambarish Maharaj on the Ekadasi day, then the Durvasa Muni did not come yet, and then what Ambarish did is, after consulting with the Brahmanas, he just drink a water, which is nothing but drinking the water is a fasting as well as non-fasting. That is how he ended his fasting. Then Durvasa Muni came, and then he was angry, and then he just created a demon, and then asked the demon to kill Ambarish, and then Ambarish don't know that his Sudarshana Chakra is always saving him. Then the Sudarshana Chakra killed that demon, and then it is rushing and then racing to the Durvasa Muni, and Durvasa Muni went to all the gods and finally Vishnu, Krishna, and then they asked to go back to Ambarish, and then he fell on the feet of he is almost about to fall on the feet of Durvasa, but on the Ambarish, and then Ambarish lifted him, and then he was at the same time he did the stotra of the Sudarshana. So that kind of the power of the devotee is like always, like Vivekananda says, we don't have the patience to practice unselfishness, but it is more pain than the selfishness. So, therefore, he says, a man of controlled senses cannot be offensive to anyone. Because if you have the controlled senses, if you don't have the desire, then where is a question of offensive to anyone? Where is a question of arguing to anyone? So, all the kama, krodha will come only because the kama is not fulfilled. So all these Harishad Vargas. So bottom line is all these Harishad Vargas we have to be keep in control and then totally remove it before leaving the body. Then here Prabhupada says why Arjuna, someone might ask why Arjuna killed others in the battlefield. Is he not Krishna conscious? If he is Krishna consciousness, why he should be loving everyone and then giving to everything to Duryodhana like that? Well, he just followed the Krishna's orders. One thing is Sarva Paritranaya Sadhana Vinasaya Chadushkam Dharma Samsthapanardhaya. So because to samsthapana of the dharma, That's why he asked Arjuna to fight and then kill everyone. And also he explained that Arjuna also knows that all the Jivatmas, we're all playing, it's in the body and the desire and all this Leela happening, and then Krishna is the director. He said like, okay, I want to establish the dharma again, so that's why kill all these adharma people. Then he killed everyone. So such a person never entangled in the reactions of the world. So because he is in that mode, he is always offering the results to Krishna, and that man, he will never be entangled. That is the main point. If you are working selfishly, then you are entangled in the desire. If you have a desire, then you are entangled. But if you are working selflessly, then you won't be entangled. That is how, right? Avidya, kama, karma. You wanted to get out from this karma cycle. You have to cut the karma. And then you have, for that, you need to understand instead of the avidya, instead you should have the vidya of adhyatma vidya vidyanam. Adhyatma vidya vidyanam. Out of all vidyas, adhyatma vidya is the vidya. Adhyatma, adhyatma means, adhyatma means our own true nature. So here, because we are thinking that we are the body, that's why we want to fulfill the demands of the body and always working towards that. But it's a tough subject. We need to think that we are not the body, we are the soul, Atma. Because of us, this body is there to enjoy the karmas. And we think that, oh, if my heart is not functioning, then what happens to that? I might die. But that is not the thing. If I am not there, the heart won't be there, not the other way. But so here the key points are the one who works in the devotion. So the goal of the devotion, for example, if you are practicing Bhakti Yoga and then you think that, oh, I am so great, I am a great devotee or senior devotee, but the measurements are one thing. Are you pure soul? Is the purity happened in the heart? And do you really control the mind and senses? Totally. And are you dear to everyone and everyone is dear to him? That is one thing. So that's a point, right? Like so many great saint peoples, they are everyone is dear to him because they know that everyone is the Ivatmas and they don't think as a body and then everything, they don't have any grudge about that. But dear to everyone, that person is dear to everyone is how? Because there are so many cruel people, crooked peoples might be there. But I think my opinion is when we have the interaction at that time, even the cruelty person also, that particular moment, I think he will start liking it, because the cruel person also, or any animal or anything, which the first one they like is they like themselves, the Atma. So when this particular person is in the Atma state, it's all Krishna. When he is connected with the Krishna, everyone is part and parcel. If you really think in that way, Advaita and Visishta Advaita, then everyone is related to Krishna. And that's why when we are serving the Lord Krishna, we will be really happy. That is the food for the soul. So when you are connected with the Krishna, the other living entities, even without knowingly, when they see you, they will really start. They like it at that moment. So so many examples, like, so in the jungle it going, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the animals started loving him, dancing in his kirtan. We see in the Sai Baba also, like the one animal, the tiger came and then it flat down in front of the Sai Baba. So these saintly people, even the cruelty of the cruel persons also, they will, when they see the saintly, that's why even in the Ramayana also they will say Ravan did not see the Ram before the war. If you had seen Ram, he could have changed it. That is why the Leela happened, so that the Ravan is always away from Ram. So that is how this sloka is. So basically, Yogayukta Vishuddhatma, Vichitatma, Jitendriya, Sarvabhutatma, Bhutatma, Kurvan api na lipyate. Yoga, the one needed, Vishuddhatma, Vichitatma, Jitendriya, and never entangled means na lipyate. Lipyate means never entangled. So mainly, if you really see, this entanglement, material entanglement is very sad and sorrow. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Doshana Darshanam. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi, that's how the scriptures Krishna says in the Gita also. 4 things which are dukkhas. If you really see the birth, you don't even realize that. Janma Mrityu, that is the death, so much pain. Birth, so much pain. And Jara, the old age, is so much pain. You really see that the body is dwindling and the mind, your vasanas will be there, and then you are adjusting to that environment, and then Adi Bhautika, Adhyatmika, Adi Devika problems will be there. All the external Adi Devika problems, you don't have the energy to face all those cold, cough, heat, and all those Adhyatmika, Adi Devika. Adhyatmika body and mind problems always there. Mind always thinks so much life passes, so that's why in that particular life so many experiences accumulated, so the mind is always agitated and the body is dwindling. Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika, and then all the people surrounding you, everyone is cheating you, disrespecting you, all those problems will come. So these are very hard. That is why this entanglement is very hard, material entanglement. You have to, our liberation means attaining the mukti, freedom, that much freedom. For example, if you are so hot, you go to the AC room, that's called liberation at that particular moment. So that is called the liberation is. So if you really see the pain, the dukkhas we are having, that's why dukkhalayam, ashukham, asukham, ashas. So this is the alaya of dukkha. Whatever you do, dukkha, because if you analyze it, if you really think of it, anything, you enjoy it. If you really see that there is no enjoyment without the dukkha, without the sorrow. Whatever you do it, there is a sorrow. Even in the teenage, whatever you do it, whatever you think you enjoyed it, but the formula is before leaving the body, all your sorrows and happiness are break even. That is how you get this prarabdha karmas. Perhaps this body, once the moment you got the body, everything at the end of the leaving the body, it is all accounted. It's all balanced properly. So, like every acharyas in Krishna, everyone says, our first and foremost duty is to get the working towards liberation, and then you will really feel the ananda. Our swarupa is Satchit Ananda, eternal, and then chit full of knowledge, and then bliss. And because of this ajnana, we put all these characters in the body, and then we try to save the body. The eternal body can be eternal, but we try to save the body. And then full knowledge. We have the ajnana, but we don't want to feel that. We want to always learn, and we want to be smart and all that, knowingness. And then ananda, everybody, we know it, everybody is working towards ananda, morning to night. If you have a nice dream, also, even in the dream state also, you are working towards the happiness. So, follow the path, and then follow so strictly, and keep on observing every time. How are you? Are you purified? Are you pure soul? Are your mind and concentration are controlled? And are you dear to everyone? Everyone is dear to everyone. And although working, so though always working, that doesn't mean you have to work all the time. Based on your circumstances and the things and your capacity, whatever you are working it, and then think of it whether that work is going to entangle you or not. So work towards it, and then get the highest results, get our true nature. That's where our ajnana, remove ajnana, and then with the jnana, like a jnana agni dagdha karmani, when all the karmas are burnt, when you get the real swarupa knowledge with the bhakti, then you are entangled, then you are liberated from this birth cycle, and then where you attain the mukti. In that state, you are always blissful, Satchitananda, full knowledge, and then you are always eternal. That is a real blissful state. That is really the Ananda. That is called Brahman, Brahmananda. Okay, we'll discuss next slokas in the next class. Okay. Hare Krishna. I land here. Krishna Bhagwan ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai.